morning. Hello. I can see there's some really keen beans. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Carl. You guys have been here for a while, bless yous. I had a nightmare with my Google Slides this morning. They decided that they didn't want to work, and then my laptop logged me out entirely. And so hence why I was cutting it fine today, making sure I made it in on time. And then I imagine I probably made Miss Purcell and Mr. Croxton sweat a little bit. I wasn't turning up at all, but no, I'll never do that. I'm always going to be here. Right, let's see. Good morning, Amy E. Good morning, Isla. Good morning, Summer. Good morning, Chloe. Loads of you, lovely. Right, seems like we're ready for another lesson, which is great. Good morning, Caris. Okay, let's have a look then. What we'll be doing today. I'll present my screen for you. Mr. Crox has just replied, yes, I was really worried. Don't worry, I'm here. Right, let's have a little look. Right, hopefully you can see that okay. Let's hide this bit. Right. Good morning, Amy Lee. Good morning, Aaron. Aaron, I hear you're loving your new device. This is great for you. Declan, on since 9 a.m. Bless you. Good morning, Haria. I hope that device is working for you as well, lovely. Bless you. Right, let's get cracking. I want to make sure I'm presenting my screen. Just remember the last lesson where I'm there trying to do MC grammar 3 times over and it didn't work. So I've got to check that I'm doing the right thing. Okay, let's have a little look. So we're on to lesson 6. You'll be happy to hear that tomorrow is a free day. It is to celebrate VE Day, Victory in Europe, which was the end, well, not necessarily the end of the World War, but it was the end of the World War for Britain, which was amazing. And there was loads of celebrations happening, but also it was meeting with a bit of what's the future going to hold. So it's a really important day, 75 years ago. So do enjoy that with your family. Maybe you can make some something classically British like Victoria sponge, or have some scones and just have a tea and cheers to Germany signing to surrender in the war. So yes, a big day tomorrow. So do enjoy that. But let's crack on with today. So as always, you're presented with these symbols. So I'll just put my little cursor here. When you see the symbol, it is a listening slide. So it means please don't comment, just listen. I'll be teaching you new content, or consolidating, which means going back over some content you should know. And then here is the commenting pencil. Now I'm going to make this commenting pencil a little more interesting today. I've got loads of good mornings. Oh, this is lovely. Good morning, Akmal. Good morning, Callum W. Lovely. I'm going to make this writing a little bit more interesting, this commenting one. Right, let me see if you can see this. Fingers crossed. Hopefully you can see this. Okay. It's called My Lockdown Leaders. And can you see that there is a 5CF and a 5BP part? So the first 5 comments with the correct answer will go on to either a tally for 5CF or a tally for 5BP. Now, I'm being a bit risky here because 5BP seem to nail it all the time. And not that I'm showing any favouritism 5CF, but I do want to see who our lockdown leaders really are. So get ready with your fastest fingers, and I will reveal the results either at the end or at the start of the next lesson, depending how much I can keep on top, because I might need to go back through the comments. Okay. So I will make it really clear what you need to comment so we don't have any cheaters. And that we're all playing on a fair, level playing field. But the first 5 to comment get the lockdown points for their class. So you're not only playing now or commenting for your own victory, but you're commenting for your class victory. Let's see who comes out on top. Nervous, but let's go for it. Right, learning outcomes today. We're going to be looking at punctuation and reading today. We're going to be revising modal verbs. We're going to be exploring with inverted commas today, and then we're going to be developing our reading skills based on that fantastic narrative poem I shared with you last lesson. But I'll go over it again for those that weren't here or maybe missed it, so don't worry. Okay, first task is we went over modal verbs last lesson. So your first task, and again, remember this is the first 5 people. I gave you a list of 10 modal verbs. I first gave you them in their positive form, not in their negative form. So I wasn't using the nt at the end. So can you list for me as many modal verbs as you can? Now, don't send me just one each time and think that you're going to get fastest finger at that. It's going to be the first 5 people to list at least 5 modal verbs for me out of the 10. Are you ready? Let's see who comments first. Is it gonna be 5 CF? Is it gonna be 5 BP? I can't cope. I cannot cope. I mean, I'm expecting Isla and Amy just to go whoop because they're so fast. Not sure I said good morning to you, Amy Lee, but hello. Lovely to have you on our lesson. Oh, someone bringing it in for 5 CF 1 point. Woo! Coming in next with Caris, gosh. Coming in then with, oh, so modal verbs, Amy E, is like I'll give you a clue. Things like ought to, shall, may, all those possibility words to say how likely it is that something's going to happen that we were studying last lesson. Good morning, Alex. Alex, remember there's 2 of you, my lovely. So could you put Alex C or Alex A so I can be sure? Oh, Cole, you've done 4. Send me one more quickly. Get a point for 5 BP. Isla bringing in the first point, 5 BP coming in third. Amy E. Oh, Amy Lee. Hello, hello. Coming in 4th. Right, it's the last point. It's neck and neck, guys. Ah, look at me. Isla. Isla dropping in that 5th one. John Paul, good morning. John Paul, you just came 6th there. Just slightly out. So well done. Right, that does put the leaderboard at 5 BP, 3, 5 CF, 2. So pretty tight going. But ultimately, my main part where I'm impressed is that you guys have remembered modal verbs. This is wonderful. So let's have a little reminder. So we've got might, will, should, may, would, can, could, must, shall, and ought to. So these are the modal verbs that indicate, once again, how likely it is something's about to happen. So if I say, I might go to the shops later versus I will go to the shops later, this one sounds like she's not really going to go. It's 50-50. This one sounds like she's going to go. She wants those snacks, okay? This is may is usually used for permission. May I have a drink? May I go to the toilet? But then it could also be used to give permission as well. You may have a drink. You may go to the toilet. So it's quite a nice one, may. So yes, hopefully we've remembered those. Good morning, Harley. Lovely. Okay, so just to quickly revise our modal verbs and apply it, because we're not applying it as often as I would like or as we would do in class. So I'm going to give you some opportunity to apply the use of that language within a bit of writing now. So imagine what school will be like when we're out of lockdown and able to return. Now, we're all speculating when we think that's going to be, but the honest answer is I genuinely don't know. No teacher knows, no head teacher knows, no one really knows. But Mr. Johnson may tell us what it's going to be like come Sunday. We'll have to wait and see. I know he's in talks about it today. So we'll hear more on Sunday, but we know that if schools are able to start reopening, it won't be a rush of children coming back in because that would not stick to the social distancing rules. So it'd be what they call a phased return. So write a description of your ideas for school using modal verbs, of what school might look like when you do come back. So here's some questions to help you with that. How will the classrooms change? What might they look like now? What will lessons be like? How many children will come back? So maybe how many children within Year 5 could come back? How many children within the whole school might come back? How many per class will come back each day? I don't know. Will all year groups come back straight away? How will teachers support you in your learning, having to still maintain the social distancing? And what could be the new playground rules? So there's loads to consider about reopening school. So I want you just to write me 2 sentences. Again, first 5 people get lockdown points. 2 sentences, including modal verbs, answering some of these questions. What school will look like when we return? Let's see who comes through. Not sure if I say good morning to you, Kaida, but hello. Good morning, Emily. Good morning to Emily's mum as well. Right, I've got Amy in, but with 1 sentence. Remember that to make it fair, I did ask for 2 sentences. Emily, if you've just joined us, my lovely, we're thinking about what school might be like when we return after lockdown using modal verbs to help us. So we're just revising what we did last lesson with modal verbs there. Good, Haria. But again, 1 sentence from you, my lovely. We need 2 to win the first point. Coming in first, Summer, well done. Older children might have to go back first. We may have to stay 2 meters apart in the playground. Oh, interesting. So not only are we actually using modal verbs here, we're predicting as well, aren't we? What we think it's going to look like when we return. Well done, Summer. Jay coming in second. You must change the playground rules. Must. You should stay 2 meters apart. Well done, Jay. Bringing in another point for 5CF there. Coming in next, Amy Lee, bringing in a lovely point there for 5BP. Maybe there will be hope that they reopen. You would have less help from the teachers. Oh, I really hope not. I'm going to have to try and find a way. Um, Trying to look at who comes next. Or did Amy do one before? Yes, Amy, you've got in there with a point. Lessons might be different because we will have half children in the class and half online. Gosh, could you imagine the teacher workload? I don't know how I'm going to manage doing a lesson in class and a lesson online. It's double the workload. I need to go to you, Amy. You seem like you're really hard working. I might ask you to do a couple lessons for me if you don't mind. And then you said classrooms will change because there will be less tables for children. Lovely. Good. And then coming in last of all is Chloe. Well done. Again, I'm not sure if it's Chloe B or Chloe D, but you did it last. Oh, and then Aaron, oh, you came sixth. Wonderful. Right, some really great application there of modal verbs. Want to hear the scores? Right, let me just make sure I've done this right. So there should be 10 points, shouldn't there? Oh, right, let me just confirm. It was Summer, J, Amy Lee, no, Summer J, Amy E, Chloe. Oh no, then it would have been Aaron. No, Aaron, you got it. Yay, well done. Right, do you want to know what that means? That means that we have, I believe, a tie. Ah! So it's 5CF 5, 5BP 5. So 5BP took the lead on the last one, 5CF brought it back, and you've all applied modal verbs superbly. Ah, lovely. Thank you, Chloe B. Wonderful. Good. Right, let's move on before I get too distracted. Right, so we're going to be looking at, as I said, inverted commas today. So we're going to start off with our fantastic Mr. Grammar, MC Grammar, helping us to identify what they mean. So let me do my microphone so you can hear the song loud and clear. Where is it? This one.
Inverted commas. You gotta use them when someone or something comments. If it's indirect speech, you don't need them. Only use them when the speaker's speaking. Stick them at the end and the beginning. Don't forget to punctuate within them. What do you mean? If there's direct speech, the first thing you need to do is reach for a new line. And inverted commas and a capital letter at the start, man, come on. Next up, punctuation. Does it need a comma, question or exclamation? Stop, sentence exception. When the speech is at the end, you can use a full stop. One more thing, what do you use at the end of direct speech and punctuation? Let me think. Actually, let me sing. Inverted commas. You gotta use them when someone or something comments. If it's indirect speech, you don't need them. Only use them when the speaker's speaking. Stick them at the end and the beginning. Don't forget to punctuate within them. What do you mean? 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 What do you mean?
Right, lovely. Okay, let's click done and let's go back. So, as MC Grammar was singing about, inverted commas, they're used for direct speech. So we use them when a character is speaking or when we're doing a quotation, say, like a newspaper article. So inverted commas were typically called speech marks or quotation marks, and everyone gave this symbol. And we just know that that's being said directly. It's not something that anyone's made up. It's exactly what the character said at that time, or exactly what someone you're quoting someone has said at that time as well. So we want to make sure that when we're doing direct speech that we're punctuating it correctly, okay? So you have to keep your speech marks, your inverted commas, or your quotation marks at the beginning, at the end of the words that have been spoken. So let's have a look at what that looks like. So here we have, how are you? Said Claire. So you'll see by the array of colours I have that there are loads of things to think about when we are doing speech. So first of all, you need an inverted comma at the beginning to show that to show that the character started to speak, okay? I think some people used to call these the 66, okay? Then you've got the capital letter. You always have to start speech with a capital letter, even if the speech isn't at the start of the sentence, it's at the end of the sentence, you still have to have that capital letter at the beginning of it, okay? Then you have to have some form of punctuation. So in this instance, it was a question mark because Claire was asking whomever she was talking to a question. She was asking them how they are. So we had to have a question mark here. Usually it'd be a question mark, an exclamation mark, or a comma that goes at this punctuation. On rare occasions, it is a full stop, but we'll talk about when that happens, okay? Then you have the end inverted commas, which some of you would call your 99. And then you have the reported clause. The reported clause tells us who said the speech. Sometimes it's important to put that reported clause in. Sometimes that reported clause is omitted, as in we know who's speaking because the way that the narrative is written, it's clear to us who's saying what. And so sometimes the reported clause isn't necessary. Right, let's carry on. There's something to my head today. Right. So now this is changed a little bit. So it says Sarah replied, "I'm great," which is nice to hear. Good for Sarah. So in this instance, the reported clause has gone at the start, as opposed to in the last one, the reported clause is at the end. Now, after the reported clause, if it's at the beginning, you have to then insert a comma, okay? Because as we learned in our commas lesson and the range of purposes, the 5 different purposes in which we use a comma, one of them was you use a comma to introduce speech. And that's exactly where it's being used now. So you've got the reported clause, then the comma to introduce the speech. Then you have, as always, your inverted comma at the beginning of the speech, your capital letter at the start, your end punctuation, which is in this case an exclamation mark because she's saying how great she is and she's exclaiming it, and then an inverted comma at the end. Okay, so really soak that in. Inverted comma, capital letter, end punctuation, inverted comma. Again, inverted comma, capital letter, end punctuation, inverted comma. 4 things to really punctuate that speech. And then if you're putting in a reported clause at the beginning, remember that comma to introduce it, okay? Which will bring it up to 5 things to punctuate speech. So, spot the error then, your task in this sentence, okay? Remember 5 fastest points. Where has this person gone wrong in this sentence? They have not punctuated it properly. Good morning, Nanny. Wonderful. Good morning, Alex C. Thank you for that. So where have they gone wrong? So some of you spotted one of the errors. Hint, there are 2. Good, Carden, you spotted one of the errors too. Amy Lee, you've spotted one of the errors as well. Well done. Good, some of you spotted both. Well done, lovely. Good, Carl, you've spotted one. So we've got Summer, Hayden spotted one, Amy Lee spotted one, Amy E has spotted one, but not completely correct, Amy E. Good effort, my lovely. Oh, good morning, Jude. Hello. Right, let's see what Isla said. Yes, Isla, you've spotted one. Jude, you've spotted one. Good. John Paul, you've spotted one. So have you, Chloe B. Right. Lovely. Hello, Lexi. Hello, Abby. Oh, right. I'm gonna have to go for the first 5 to get the first one correct. So that was Summer, Kaiden, Amy Lee. Oh, where am I going? Isla and Jude. Oh, 5BP took a big lead there, making it 9v6. Oh, bad round for 5CF. Right. So in this instance, this is what's gone wrong. Let me show you. So in this instance, these two that I've now put in red are incorrect. Okay, so many of you were starting to notice, particularly this one here. Some of you noticed this one here. So the reason why these are wrong is because the comma, the end punctuation needs to be inside the inverted comma. It's not the inverted comma, then end punctuation. It's end punctuation, then the inverted comma. So that was the first error that this person had made. Also, they put speech marks to possess, for possession for Jake's parents, and it should be an apostrophe for possession. So that was incorrect too. So well done. Good, lovely. So can I just ask a question? Because I want to know why it's a comma here at the end of the speech and not a full stop. Why is it a comma here and not a full stop there? Who gets it first? Why is there a comma here, not a full stop? Come on, 5CF, we need a point. Come on. Guarantee it's going to be 5 BP. They're just so fast. So fast. That must be Miss Purcell cracking the whip in class. Be like, come on, guys, let's go, 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 go. You've clearly got them to a good pace, Miss Purcell. Good morning, Fatima. Right, yes, absolutely, Amy. Smashed it. That's what I was looking for. Cole, you got it as well. But Amy was the first one, bringing 5BP up to 10 points there. Well done. As Amy E perfectly said, because I am carrying on the sentence. Yes, my speech may have ended, but my sentence hasn't. And if I was to put a full stop here, then what is the point in this reported clause? What's the point in saying who's it from? It wouldn't make sense to say we are very proud of him for full stop. Gosh, you know what? It should be there. Should it be after said? Why have I put it there? Naughty me. On it. But it should be here. My apologies. We are very proud of him. Inverted commas, comma, said Jake's parents. It wouldn't make sense, would it? To have full stop, capital letter, said Jake's parents. But like, what did Jake's parents say? So, wouldn't make sense. So we've got to make sure we have it in the correct place. Right, spot the error then in this one. No worries, Amy. Chloe D, it's lovely to have you here. So where, and remember here now I said spot the error. So there's only one, but where is it? One error. First 5. Come on. I mean, we're 4 behind here, 5CF. No pressure. One error. Look carefully. Where is it? Perfect, Amy. Well done. Got it. Amy bringing in another point for 5BP. Perfect, Amy Lee. It's an Amy day today. Or, do you know what, Summer? I thought someone might say what you've just said. I'm going to go through why that isn't necessary on this case. Looking for more specific. 2 people be really clear. Right, Summer, you've been clear. Good. Some of you are telling me that you've identified that there's no punctuation somewhere. But can you? Oh, sorry, I'm messing up my laptop. But can some of you be clearer? What punctuation? So I've had 3 people so far. 4 with Abu. 1 left. 1 left. What's that? What's missing? A lot of you have said about M punctuation, but you've not told me what. 4 people have said and told me what as well. So I'm waiting for someone else to say what is missing. One last one. It's nerve-wracking. Oh, I'm going to give it 5 seconds and I'm going to let the point go. 4, 3, 1, 0. Right, I'm going to let the point go. So that brings us up to 5 BP, 13 points. 5 CF, 7 points. Right, let's talk about this because I can see a few misconceptions here. So, in this instance, here was the error, which a lot of you did start to identify, okay? So it says, I'm looking for a dragon, said Pete. Have you seen him? Now, the M punctuation was missing. Now, someone did say, Summer perfectly said, shouldn't it be a new speak, a new line? But, and yes, it should. But in this instance, it's Pete that's continuing to speak. So it doesn't need a new line for him, okay? So all of that was done perfectly. We had the inverted commas, the capital letter, the end punctuation, the inverted commas, the reported clause, full stop, the inverted commas, the capital letter, now the end punctuation, the inverted comma. And it had to be a question mark because Pete was then asking a question at the end. Okay. Now the reason why they put, I'm looking for a dragon, said Pete. Have you seen him? Asked Pete, would be a bit silly. This is the classic example of where it's been omitted that Pete is continuing to speak. If it wasn't a new line, then I would assume there'd be a new reported clause telling me who the new speaker was. But because there was no reported clause here, again, we can assume that it was Pete that was continuing on what he was saying. Okay? Right, last task. Rewrite the sentences below, punctuating the speech correctly. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 sentences here with no speech punctuation whatsoever. Can you punctuate these correctly? You can send one in at a time. That's fine. The first to get a correct one in, the first 5 to get a correct one in, again, points. I mean, I feel like Summer's most of the points 5 CF with Chloe B and Chloe B and J contributing. Amy E is absolutely nailing it for 5 BP with great contributors like Cole, Isla, Amy Lee. Let's see who comes in this time. 5 BP, your contribution is amazing. You're really, really making Miss Purcell proud. Come on, Aaron. You can be fast when you want to. Come on, Callum W. I believe in you. And do you know what I feel like I need back here? You know that countdown clock? I feel like I need some dramatic effects. Hopefully that was as enjoyable for you as it was for me. Right, let's see. Okay, first one in. Ah, oh no. Right, Emily, you're so close. And punctuation, lovely. Oh, so close, Kaidem. And punctuation, not quite. And what do you need to do to introduce speech? Summer, so close, but what do you need at the start of speech? Ah, nervous. Everyone's making a slight error. There's so many punctuation things to remember with speech. I'm being a real stickler as well. Right, Cole, I'll give it to you. First one. Well done, Cole. 1 point there. Oh, so close there, Harley. But remember, what do you need to introduce speech and what do you need at the start of speech? Same to yourself, Isla. Same to yourself, Abu. Summer, well done. Perfect. That's 2 of ours taken. 2 points gone. Oh, really interesting interpretation of that second sentence. I'm loving what you've done there, Harley. It is right, but again, if you're introducing speech, you need to have a certain type of punctuation. Someone got a second sentence, so another point there. Well done. I mean, some of you are literally holding it down by yourself here for 5 CF. Bless you. Oh, we're all missing this pesky comma at the moment. Oh, who's that? Oh, Cole. Yeah. Oh, Cole, love it. Yes, let's do Cole another. 3 gone here. Is it 4? Summer twice, Cole twice. Pretty sure it's 4. Last one then. Who was it? Oh, not quite. Oh, this is so challenging. Who's that? Oh, Summer again. Oh, bless you, Summer. Right, I've seen Cole do some wonderful examples. Abu do some wonderful examples. Lexi Lee, Demi Lee, Harley, Jude. Oh, so close, Aaron. Oh, so close. That's it. So literally, it was a Cole and Summer race there with everyone else doing brilliantly, but slight little errors. Let's talk through why. So the first sentence says, the dentist said, open wide. So you needed, this is what so many people forgot, the comma to introduce the speech. And then quite a few of you forgot to put a capital letter for open. Okay. Now I didn't mind here if you put an exclamation or full stop. I was being lenient there, but I put an exclamation mark. So remember, comma. So reported clause, comma, inverted comma, capital letter, end punctuation, inverted comma. So remember I said when the reported clause comes first, there should be 5 points of punctuation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it comes at the end, then there'll only be 4. Now, this one I found really interesting. It says, Mum cried, Cynthia, is dinner ready yet? It's actually even hard to read because there's such a lack of punctuation. Now, it's meant to read this. Mum, cried Cynthia, is dinner ready yet? But a lot of you said it's, Mum cried, Cynthia, is dinner ready yet? So some of you have got mum crying, which is hilarious, and I loved it for the comedy value. Poor mum asking Cynthia to make her dinner. And then the last one, what a cute dog, exclaimed Rebecca. Here there was only 4 needs of punctuation because the reported clause came at the end. So some of you did amazing at that, and hopefully you can see your slight little errors, particularly, like I said, with that comma, okay? Pesky comma, I told you they're one of the most complex ones. Right, so last thing to know with inverted commas is that you have to start a new line whenever someone speaks, okay? So a new line for a new speaker. So if I show you this, how are you doing today? Asked Henry. I'm great, said Ashton. So because Henry spoke first, a new line was needed for Ashton's speech, okay? After embracing one another, they strolled to the park. The sun was beating down and a gentle breeze blew. Shall we go on the swings first? Ashton asked. Henry smiled. You read my mind, okay? So again here, new line for the new speaker, okay? So in this instance, You can see again, inverted comma, capital letter, and punctuation, inverted comma. Inverted comma, capital letter, and punctuation, inverted comma. Inverted comma, capital letter, and punctuation, inverted comma. And then the last one, same thing. You've got comma, because the reported clause in blue went before Henry smiled, comma, inverted comma, capital letter, and punctuation, inverted comma. Becoming a bit like a rap now, isn't it? So, just last of all I want you to do is you're not writing anything, you're just going to send me a number through, okay? How many errors are in the passage below? So read through it. It's the speech is not punctuated correctly, but how many errors are there? Okay, first 5. Send me through the number. No, don't guess it. Actually look at it and give me the right number, because you'll be more likely to get in the first 5 if you look carefully. Remember in your head, inverted comma, capital letter, end punctuation, inverted comma, capital letter, end punctuation, inverted comma. You're going to be literally humming that all day in your head. Inverted comma, capital letter. Aaron, you're very, very warm. Slightly wrong. Amy E, you're very, very warm. Slightly wrong. Cole, you're too high. Amy Lee, too low. Literally, I'm like, too high, too low. Too high, too low. Warm, cold, close, far. Oh, Summer! First right answer. Boom. Someone's got it. Come on, let's see. Who's next? Spot on, Summer. John Paul, second. Yes. Well done. Isla, too low. Lexi, third. Well done. Amy E, fourth. Aaron, fifth. Well done. Good job. Right, we've got our top 5. Let me put you out of your misery. So, there was no inverted comma here. Said, what was it got here? Here, sorry, was wrong as well. There might be more, you know. Here was wrong. Should be a full stop because the reported clause is here. This should be new speaker, new line. This should have been a capital letter. And ideally this one, because it said she asked, should have been a question mark. Okay, so really, really well done. I expected a few people to get a few, like 1 wrong. So I allowed deviation of 1, but I expected you to at least identify 4 there. And I did have my the top 5 identifying 4. But if you did spot all 5, you are beyond super. And I think Lexi and Cole did really well to do that. So well done. And it's okay if you're finding this hard, because for some of you this might be new content. But I would have hoped you would have learned inverted commas in year 4, because this is a year 4 objective. So you might find it hard just because you haven't done it in a while. So don't worry, it's okay. Right, so let's have a little look. So I'm going to play you this lovely video again. Really, I have to stress this. Watch it carefully, because the questions I'm going to ask you will be so much easier answered if you can remember what the video looked like. Okay, so watch really, really carefully.
Tell me the one about the virus again, then I'll go to bed.
But my boy, you're growing weary, sleepy thoughts about your head.
Please, that one's my favourite. I promise just once more.
Okay, snuggle down, my boy, though I know you know full well. The story starts before then, in a world I once would dwell. It was a world of waste and wonder, of poverty and plenty, back before we understood why hindsight's 2020. You see, the people came up with companies to trade across all lands, but they swelled and got much bigger than we ever could have planned. We'd always had our wants, but now it got so quick. You could have anything you dreamed of in a day, and with a click. We noticed families had stopped talking. That's not to say they never spoke, but the meaning must have melted, and the work-life balance broke. And the children's eyes grew squarer, and every toddler had a phone. They filtered out the imperfections, but amidst the noise, they felt alone. And every day the skies grew thicker, that you couldn't see the stars. So we flew in planes to find them, while down below, we filled our cars. We'd drive around all day in circles. We'd forgotten how to run. We swapped the grass for tarmac, shrunk the parks till there were none. We filled the sea with plastic, because our waste was never capped, until each day when you went fishing, you'd pull them out, already wrapped. And while we drank and smoked and gambled, our leaders taught us why. It's best to not upset the lobbies. More convenient to die. But then in 2020, a new virus came our way. The governments reacted and told us all to hide away. While we all were hidden, amidst the fear, and all the while, the people dusted off their instincts. They remembered how to smile. They started clapping to say thank you, and calling up their mums. And while the car keys gathered dust, they would look forward to their runs. And with the skies less full of voyagers, the earth began to breathe, and the beaches bore new wildlife that scuttled off into the seas. Some people started dancing, some were singing, some were baking. We'd grown so used to bad news, but some good news was in the making. And so when we found the cure, and were allowed to go outside, we all preferred the world we found to the one we'd left behind. Old habits became extinct, and they made way for the new, and every simple act of kindness was now given its due.
But why did it take a virus to bring the people back together?
Sometimes you've got to get sick, my boy, before you start feeling better. Now lie down and dream of tomorrow, and all the things that we can do. And who knows, if you dream hard enough, maybe some of them will come true. We now call it the Great Realization. And yes, since then there have been many. But that's the story of how it started, and why hindsight's 2020.
Brilliant. Well done, everybody. Bless you, Zach. I've just seen all the emails I've got through of you desperately trying to comment and not too sure where. You were doing a wonderful job there, though. I'm so pleased. Right, I do just mean to distract just for a slight moment so I can help Zach out, bless him, because he's trying so hard, but he's commenting everything on Google Classroom. So if I just show you now, Zach, quickly, where you need to go, lovely. Remember when how to sign in here, you went to the Lee Forest website and you went to, you got onto this page and it had the table. Can you see there's a button there that says comment here? When you click that, lovely, it will open up a new page for you. You put your name and your comment, you click submit and it comes to me, okay? Hopefully that helps you a little bit. Right, I shan't digress much longer. Right, so hopefully you really paid attention so that we can use our skills that we know to answer some questions now. Okay, so first question. What does weary mean? So it says here, tell me the one about the virus again. Then I will go to bed. But my boy, you're growing weary, sleepy thoughts about your head. What do you mean? Let's see, first 5. Right now, 5 VPs at 18 points and 5 CFs tailing behind at 12. So let's see if we can make any changes or if 5 BP can strengthen their lead. I've got 1 correct answer. I'm going to hold off and wait and see who the first 5 are. But I can reveal that the first person is from 5 BP. The second person is from 5 BP. The third person is from 5 CF. Who's 4? Fourth person is from 5 CF. Oh, is that commented? Digress. And the 5th person is from 5 CF. Yay! Not that I'm biased or anything, guys, but I'm just happy that we're not tailing behind as much. So, first person, ABE, 1 point. Second person, Lexi, 1 point. Third person, Jay, 1 point. Fourth person, Summer, 1 point. Fifth person, Chloe D, 1 point. Well done. Next question. Da-da. Right, hard question. What does hindsight mean? Hard question. Think about breaking the word up. Hind and sight. What do you think it means? Can I just give a shout out though to all the people that got it right? Well done, John Paul, for recognising weary means tired. Well done, Jude. Weary means tired. And Jude, what a beautiful response. You said because it also says the word sleepy. So you found some evidence to support. You used context clues. Do you know what, Jude? I'm going to have to give 5BP a point just because of how fantastic that answer was. I can't ignore a good answer. I can't. Well done, Isla, for recognising it meant tired as well. Lexi as well, you said because it says weary, sleepy thoughts, and you use that as a context clue. Nice. Oh, Amy, a really nice thought there for what hindsight could have meant. Not quite, my lovely, but I get why you're saying what you're saying. You're really looking at the text carefully there. So superb, my lovely. Oh, nice. Oh, nice, Chloe D. First point. Oh, nice, John Paul. Second point. Nice, Summer. Third point. Nice, Jude. Fourth point. Oh my gosh, it's like 5 CF, 5 B, 5 CF, 5. I can't count. Who's coming in last for the last point? I wouldn't be surprised if at this point this person out comments and grants the last one. Well done, Aaron. Last one. Good job. Oh, 5 CF starting to make little hedges forward here. Well done. Okay, so hindsight, if we break up and look at hind, kind of links to a word that we know quite familiar, as in behind. So it means back, and sight, as we know, means to see. So it's again back before, and it has that real big clue there, back before. Okay, so hindsight means when you look back at something that has happened before and you understand why it happened. For example, say you had a friend and they're your bestest ever friend, and every morning they say hello to you. But on this particular morning, you went, "Good morning," and they blanked you, gave you maybe a bit of a dirty look, and you're really upset. And then you later hear that something terrible had happened that day to them. You think, oh, that was why back before they didn't say hello to me. I understand now. It's giving you that understanding of what's happened before, but you understand it after the event has happened. So it's hindsight. So hopefully Now that the coronavirus has entered our world, and we now start to see our Earth breathing again, and our families getting closer, and we all appreciate the NHS more, and we all appreciate our friends more, and we appreciate even school more now. It's that hindsight, that understanding of why the world before wasn't maybe we wasn't appreciating as much, and now we understand why we need to appreciate it more in the future. It's that hindsight. So really, really well done. That's a really important skill to be able to find the answers to these. Next one. What now? See if you can remember. There was a really clear visual in the video to this. We noticed families had stopped talking. What is it that is in our world that has caused our families to stop talking? And I went on at 5CF for this, saying that our generation, the children of today, aren't as social as maybe our grandparents were, because something has entered our society that means that we aren't talking the same as we used to talk. What is it? What has stopped families from talking as much? Perfect, Summer. First answer. Perfect, Amy. Second answer. Perfect, Aaron. Third answer. Aaron, you're on it. That have another thing. What is it that I go on about? Like, oh, if we didn't have this anymore, then we would all be outside and face to face. Clue. Perfect, John Paul. Fourth answer. Who's going to be the fifth answer? Again, it's 5CF, 5BP, 5CF, 5BP. He's going to come in last with the correct answer. Yes, Chloe G, superstar. Well done. Good. It is technology. We are so glued to our phones like this all the time. TikToking, WhatsApping, whatever it is that you're doing, Instagramming, whatever it is that people do nowadays on their phones. I'm so old already, I can already tell. We're not having those face-to-face conversations anymore. Before phones were invented, people would write letters to each other. People would go around to visit each other's houses. People would meet up and arrange park dates or strolls or just being face-to-face. All of that's been removed now because we're just so on our phones that we're not actually interacting as much. They say one of the strongest muscles in our body, fast developing, is our thumb because we're doing this all the time. How bizarre. Right, last one. Kind of linking to the previous. What made the children's eyes grow squarer? So it's quite a nice little visual there. Everyone's eyes were round because they were looking at the world before, so their eyes were round. Now their eyes are like squares. Why? What are they looking at now? Saying the point system is 23 to 5BP, 18 to 5CF. So less 5CF coming with all of these first. You're not catching up this time. I mean, miracles can happen, can't they? This is a nice inference question here because it doesn't specifically say. Good. So Aaron first, Amy second, Summer third. Good. Lexi fourth. That's the perfect answer that I wanted. Good. Oh, John Paul, you were just picked by Chloe D there. Well done. TV is what they're mainly referring to there. The box set of our TV are making the eyes grow squarer. Absolutely. Right, really, really well done. I'm just going to quickly go through this. So you now have the opportunity to have a well-deserved quick break. Then to be ready with Miss Purcell for math at 11:15. Zach, please continue to comment as wonderfully as you have done this time. Zach is obviously going to nail it with his math because that's your subject, isn't it, Zach? I'm so glad though that you gave English a really good go and came to see me today, so thank you for that. Our first time newbie. And then if you could complete some doodle tasks as well. You've got an English assignment and a math assignment. I have been so proud. The score ends at oh, that is a good catch up, guys. The end result is 5 BP with 26 and 5 CF with 24. Just 2 points in it. So well done, 5 BP. Let's see if 5 CF can try and catch you up on the next lesson. Okay, have a lovely, lovely day. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your VE day tomorrow, and enjoy math with Miss Purcell in just a short while. Take care, everybody.